So look, today is really about the way that Five Good Friends work with Stockland and what we do to help support the residents maintain their independence as best they possibly can at home. So, you know, whenever we come out and visit residents and talk to the community at large, and we sort of say to people, you know, what are your wishes and desires as you move into your more mature years? And everybody says we want to stay at home. And I think that would be, 99% of people would say that. And I would imagine that's how you all feel too, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the wonderful thing about retirement living is that, making a choice to, potentially downsize a little, and also having that safety and that community around you to help you feel that you feel safe in your own home, and that you've got a lot of friends that you can also share things with, and you can get as involved as you want to or you don't want to. So I know there's a lot of activities that happen within the retirement village space, and that can sometimes be overwhelming for some, but I think it's also a very wonderful thing for people to be part of as well. So just to touch on who Five Good Friends are. So Five Good Friends are a home care organisation. We do everything that we can to help support people stay in their own home, and whether that's guiding them down through the My Aged Care system to find out if they're eligible for funding to help that occur, or we work with families to design a private care package that might also be valuable to you to keep you at home. We are very much a modern home care business. We are young. We are, 4 years young. And we're trying to do things completely differently to a lot of the traditional services out there. So the customer to us is our, the main centre of everything that we do, and we truly focus on the customer and also supporting the family through this process as well. Ageing is not just an individual problem. Ageing is a family problem. Well, not a problem, but the family generally need to get involved. So a lot of people actually ask us why we've been called Five Good Friends, and I think that story is worth telling you. So there's actually a study that's been done by the National Geographic, and it's looked at some communities across the world that were showing the clear evidence of longevity. So people who were living long, happy, healthy lives. So they went into these communities and they started to figure out, well, what is it that they're doing that's giving them these long, happy, healthy lives? And I'm sure you could probably imagine what some of those might be. So eating a plant-based diet, so very much focused more on that plant-based diet. And I'm sure as you would be hearing a lot more about the power of plant-based diets, not just for your health, but also for the environment as well. The other thing I was finding is that people were very functional in their movement. So every day they were doing something that was moving all of their joints and keeping them really active and limber. And I'm not talking about doing cardio classes, jumping around, crazy. I'm just talking about, walking. It can be gentle exercise, but actually just keeping everything limber. If you don't use it, you lose it, sort of motto. So always continuing to keep that movement going. One of the other factors was that these people had 5 to 6 good friends that they carried through their life. So the power of friendship, the power of sharing great experiences and triumphs, and also sadness, but having that support of a friendship group around you. And these 5 to 6 good friends are an integral part of a lot of these people's happy, healthy lives. So I guess it could have been called 6 good friends, but 5 good friends seem to have a better ring to it. So that's why we've ended up being called 5 good friends. And it truly is that human connection piece is at the centre of everything that we do. We really, truly believe in the power of human connection. The next piece just to share with you is that Ita Buttrose is an ambassador of ours and has been since the inception of the business. Did any of you attend the event at the MCG a few years back that we held with Ita? No.
No, I did hear somebody from our village went, and we did hear about it.
Yeah, so it was, fantastic event. She, I guess, has a real passion in the aged care space or the ageing space. And she has a lot of first-hand experience with nursing her father who had dementia. So she also feels very strongly about the retirement space and the fact that people who are going to a retirement village setting are generally pretty good planners. So they've got a plan, they've either to downsize to get that safety side of things, and also to be in more of that community environment. And we know the power of community, which is very clear in those blue zones that I was talking about. But one of the things that people seem to not plan as well or know about is if something does go wrong in a health sense, what is it that you need to access? How do you tap into resources if you need them? So what we try and do is really educate people as to what that could look like, and hopefully none of you ever need it. I mean, that's the ideal, really, that your health is maintained through your life and you don't have to worry about getting that extra support. But it's empowering people with information to make great decisions if that particular time in their life comes. So, as you age, it should be something that you look forward to. It should be, it should be happy and you should feel contented. So we try and bring a lot of those pieces to the retirement village space to help people very much feel like that. So I guess the big question that we get asked is, well, that all sounds great and ageing well also sounds fantastic, but how do we actually do that? So the piece that we try and bring to the villages is about having a plan and starting a conversation. And it doesn't have to be a topic that's taboo. It's very much a topic that we're very comfortable speaking about day in, day out. So we have nurses that move across a lot of the villages and are happy to have a chat to you. And I'll give you some numbers at the end of this that you can contact, and one of the nurses can come out and have a chat to you. And obviously through this year, it's been a little bit difficult for us to get on site. So there hasn't been as much contact in the villages from a face-to-face point of view. But I'm really optimistic that over the course of the next few months, we'll start to see those rules sort of relax a little, and we'll be able to move into the village and assist you. But we can still assist you on the phone. So that's always available. The other piece is just initiating contact with My Aged Care. So you can actually register yourself on My Aged Care, and you don't actually have to register for any services. You can get all your details into their system, so that if there comes a time that you do need that support, everything's sitting there, and you can then ring them and say, look, I actually need a little bit of support at home. Can I please organise an assessment? And we can do that with you. We can help your family do that with you. So whatever is beneficial, you can just sort of let us know the path that you want to take. And there's a few different pathways to care, and we're also happy to discuss those with you as well. So obviously over the last 12 months, it would be, obviously there's been a big, or probably 2 years really, there's been a big light shone on the sector of the home care packages, and also into the resi space as well. Especially with COVID, I guess it's highlighted some of the downfalls that some of these residential aged care facilities probably weren't adhering to some of the processes and protocols that they should have been, and that became very clearly evident across some of the villages in New South Wales and Victoria more so. So I think the desire for people to live in their home for as long as possible has increased more so, and the government wants people to stay in their own homes as well for safety reasons, better health outcomes, and it's actually cheaper for the government to keep people in their homes, supported in their homes with services, than it is to have them going into a residential aged care facility. So, and that's what we want too. We want people to stay in their homes. So if we can help you access a home care package, we absolutely will. So there's 152,000 people who have home care packages funded for them at the moment, and there's about 60,000 people on the waiting list. And in the last budget, a couple of weeks ago, they actually released funding to decrease that waiting list. I think there's about 25,000 more packages being released. And I think once the Royal Commission hands down its findings early next year, I think there'll also be a real push to decrease the packages that are being waited for as well. So it's a good time to sort of start thinking about getting in line and sort of lining your ducks up, so that you're sitting in the system, and if services, care or anything like that's required in time, it's easy just to sort of press that next button to get the assessment happening. So just to explain how the process happens And by no means do we expect, and that's why we're working with Stockland, do we expect residents to take on this responsibility by themselves. We encourage it, but if at any stage you get stuck, we're here to support you and help you through accessing this funding. So when you register all of your details with My Aged Care, and once you actually say to them, look, I actually need some support here, they'll ask you a series of questions to determine your sort of level of function at home, and then they'll put you into 2 streams. And these 2 streams are what's on the screen here. So there is a Commonwealth Home Support Program, just to confuse things completely, and they call that a Commonwealth Home Support Package. And then there's the Home Care Package stream. So the Commonwealth Home Support is, I guess, what you may see as that traditional council help. So where you might get someone come in once a fortnight who does a little bit of cleaning your home, and you may contribute to the $5 to $10 for them to be there to do that. It's very much a task-driven service. There's not a great deal of flexibility with that service, albeit it is still a service at the very beginning of accessing some form of support that can be really beneficial to people, and especially whilst they are waiting for a home care package. So if they put you into that stream of funding, you will be assessed by a regional assessment service, or you might hear the RAS term thrown around. If you are deemed requiring more assistance, they will have you assessed by an aged care assessment service, or an ACAT team, and they will assess you for the home care package stream. That's the stream that's had a great deal of demand over the past few years. It's a very comprehensive assessment that the ACAT team do, and they will then allocate you a level of package, so a level 1 to 4 package. That funding, I guess, gets sort of stapled to you, and we or another provider can actually help administrate how those funds are used. So say I'm, Sam, I go and get assessed by the ACAT team. They say to me, after assessing all of my needs, we're going to give you a level 2 package. That would then give me approximately $15,700 per year to use for care and services. And that's where an organisation, an approved provider like Five Good Friends, becomes really important, because we can help administrate that and manage that with you. So you might say to me, look, I'd really like someone to come in once a week and take me shopping, or I really would like someone to come in and clean my house once a week. And we would tailor a package designed for you to organise those people to come in and support you. One of the things too that we are really sort of, strict on is ensuring that the person that comes into your home is the same person. So when we sit down with you and ask you, what kind of person would you like to come into your home, you might say to me, look, I want a male who can speak Italian and who's got a keen interest in, reading. Or you might, whatever it might be. And I have said to a few people in some of these presentations, especially to the girls in the room, I've said, don't go asking for tall, dark and handsome, because they're very hard to find. But it's just we want the person that comes into your home to really form a level of trust with you, so that you feel that you can really rely on them. Sometimes if these services, for people who need those extra services like showers, they're very intimate things for someone to be doing with you. You don't want someone different coming in the door each day. You want the same person coming in, so that you start to feel a level of comfort and safety with that particular person. So that's something we really pride ourselves in doing in that care management piece. The other thing just to, think about as well is there has actually been some research done on assistance in the home, and there's been a great study done by the Macquarie University on every extra hour of care actually reducing the likelihood of entering into residential aged care by 6%. You start adding that up over time, that's significant. So it's actually really important, and nothing to be ashamed of, to actually say, well, I actually need a little bit of help. I think a lot of us, try and be quite stoic and power through, and it's to our detriment at times. So if there's help there that you can access, we would encourage you to do so. You're due these things, and it's okay to accept them. They're there for a reason. So just touching on the 5 good friends model, and like I said to you before, the helper coming into the home is incredibly important for us. The other piece is your care manager is also of great importance. They're your contact, from a day-to-day point of view, if you need anything changed or altered. There's also clinical nurse consultants that would form part of the care team that would be sort of surrounding your support. And then there's access to and tools. So you don't have to just spend your home funds on services. You can actually spend those funds on equipment that you might need or products that you might need. So some people would save up for rails in their house in their showers, or special seats for their showers, or one of those beds that's easier for people to get in and out of, or chairs. So there's lots of different things that you can spend your money on, and that's part of the care management role, is to help support you to make those decisions in line with legislation, and also ensure that it's assisting you to stay in your home. The other really powerful piece, and there is no other organisation in Australia currently doing this, is our remote care intelligence. So, which sounds all a bit sort of space agey, but it's actually a tool that the helpers use. So when they go into a person's home, bless you.
Excuse me.
That's all right. When they go into a person's home, they check in on their phone. So think a bit Uberish, and they check out on their phone. If you want to have visibility of that, you can also have visibility of that. You can also use your phone to contact any members of your care team. So there'll be a screen where you can see all the members of your care team, and you can press on those icons and go directly to your care manager or directly to your workforce or your helper manager. You can also see the plan that's been designed for you on that app as well. But going back to what the helper does when they've checked into your house and checked out of your house, they'll then leave notes. And those notes go into a big sort of algorithm that's been designed by 5 good friends to try and pick up if there's any signs of risk or deterioration. So if we've only got someone coming into your home once a week, that information is incredibly important and powerful. And if there's something in those notes that's of concern, that would be flagged with our care manager, who would act on that, in real time. So, for example, we had a lady in Queensland who had a rash sort of under her eye, and the helper put notes into the app, and it just said, blistery rash under eye, painful. So the care manager saw that, because that flagged an alert to us. The care manager saw that and thought, that doesn't sound great. I'll just contact the person. Rang the person, said, just want to query what's going on here. Is this a new rash, etc., etc. Can you explain it a bit more to me? And this, the nurse on the phone actually said, I actually think you might have shingles. Sent her to a GP. Her GP then treated it. But if that had been left, that could have been incredibly dangerous to sight, etc. So just little things that may not get picked up when they should be picked up. We've just got a clinical oversight sitting over the top of that, I guess, is a reassurance that everything that's being written in those notes is actually being read. So the app is really powerful. The other great thing with the app too is if you have members of your family that you want to be able to see all of that information, you can also designate a particular person, and we would then allow them to also have visibility of what's going on as well. So it's just about all of that transparency, the visibility, and the control that you have. So some of the things that happen in the homes that we go into, and just to give you an example, I think there's, through the course of September, October, we will deliver approximately 35,000 hours of service into people's homes. So it's out there, it's happening, and it's something that, like I said, you shouldn't be afraid of. So some of the things that we do: domestic assistance, community access, so if you need to go to appointments or get to the shop, personal care if people need help in the shower. Companionship is one of our highest requested services. So that's really about people who may be living by themselves, who are in the community, who would like to be, taken to the shop to have a coffee, or we've got people that we take to the movies. They just haven't got anybody else that, maybe any family members or anyone that can do those sorts of things with them. The other thing you can do is obviously use it on assistive technology, so certain technologies that you can use to support you in your own home. There's nursing, there's allied health, so physio, podiatrists, OTs. We also have smart home technology that links in with our system as well. So there's lots of things that you can choose the services and the equipment and technology when you are given a home care package. Look, I've sort of gone over that. I'm not going to bore you with that more, but I guess the big piece is by using the wonderful people that we've got at Five Good Friends with the technology, it gives you all of that transparency and visibility, and helps us monitor what's going on in your home, not from a video point of view, but just really reading all of those notes to make sure that everything in those notes is actually being fed back to us and being analysed through our algorithm and then by our care team. And this just shows you how this system works. So you can actually, there's a device that you can connect into our Lookout system. It's called UMPS, and it's a pattern recognition technology. So there's lots of different technologies out there. The UMPS system is one that you have a small box that sits somewhere sort of unobtrusively in your home. And then you get given 5 power points. They're like a double adapter looking kind of piece. And you can actually put those between, say, the wall socket and the kettle. So you'd put that in to the wall socket, then you plug your kettle into this double adapter. You could have one on the television, you could have one on the bedside light. And it starts to actually, over the first 30 days, it will actually read or sort of start to plan what your behaviour looks like. And then after that 30 days, if they start to see really different skews on that behaviour, it will actually flag an alert. So that's actually also really powerful if you've only got someone coming in once a week to see you. That's called keeping an eye on you the whole time. And it's not an eye on you, it's actually very unobtrusive and not something that's, I think a lot of people get freaked out by video monitoring and things like that. This is not like that at all. So if you, just for instance, most mornings got up, made yourself a cup of tea and turned on the television, and it started, and maybe opened the fridge, if it didn't see those things happening, it would say, hang on a minute, Sam hasn't got up out of bed this morning or turned on the television or put on the kettle. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Or little things like if the bedside light's going on and off all night, okay, what's going on here? And that's actually picked up an infection, a urinary tract infection in someone because they're getting up in the urinary frequency. But the person who was experiencing it didn't realise that there was something else going on. So just little things like that. They all then get fed into the Lookout algorithm, and that's when our investigation begins with that care team. So the nurse will give the person a call, etc., etc. And the whole idea is that we are trying to aim for much better health outcomes for everybody that is involved with our business. What have we got here? So I guess this is the messaging that early intervention means better health outcomes. So have the conversations, sooner rather than later. You may never need any of the information that you're given, but we are here to help and support you if that's something that you want. The other thing too is if you have a home care package with another provider, we're also very happy to explain to you how we work differently. You do have choice. So that's the wonderful thing about the change in the last few years about who you choose as your provider. You don't have to go with who you're told you should go with. You have choice. And I think that's really important. Previous to the changes the government made, which were consumer-directed care, the power was really with the provider. And now the power is actually with the consumer, and we think that's fantastic. I've just noticed a spelling mistake here, sorry. So if you don't have a home care package with at all, contact us and we can have a chat to you about whether you are eligible or not. We can book someone in to discuss with you also in the service department setting that Stockland offer, how you can use your home care package to offset the levies that you pay in a service department. And when you do, when you're assigned your home care package and we come in to have a chat to you about how that can be delivered, we will do it tailored specifically for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's very much a tailored service. So we find out exactly what it is that you want. So that's kind of it from me. This is the number that you can contact our care advice line on. So our care advisors are supporting people across the country, day in, day out, with all of the things that I've actually shared with you this morning. So they're there to take your call, answer any questions, and send someone specifically out to the village to have a chat to you. So we've actually got a couple of village nurse concierges that can come out and have a chat to you if that's something that you want. Again, we'll have to adhere to the restrictions and I guess wait and see what the next 2 weeks brings for Melbourne. But we'll certainly do everything that we can. The fact that you're all on Zoom is fantastic, and we can do it on Zoom. So well done to all of you for getting onto Zoom. The power of virtual video conferencing is cool. And there's also an email address. So if you just wanted to email them and ask them for more information, again, they will come back to you with that information as well. Okay. And if you want to give me your details, I'm also happy to send you out something or even email you some information. There's actually, I don't know whether any of you would have it, so there's a fabulous, and I think I've got one. Hang on a second. I do. There's a fabulous book called The Guide to Living Well. Any of you seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually a book that we put together with APIA Insurance. And it's all the possible things you could think of, as you go into your more mature years. Things like allied health, things like the foods that you should be eating, fitness. There's some great things in there. So if you'd like a copy of that, I'm also very happy to get you a copy of that as well. Or if you want to ring the 1300 number, they can organise that too.